Hello, my name is Willie Easter Jr. I'm going to try my best to talk slow as possible. But remember, I want to remind you this, I have a high metabolism. And people with a high metabolism, they speak fast and they do things just a little bit faster than other people do. And you can tell by the vein on my head right now that I'm actually struggling just to slow down. Because everything I do it at a little bit faster pace, not no sluggish or turtle pace. So I do my best to keep it slow so you can understand all the words that's coming out of my mouth. Not trying to be smart, just basically being having clear communications. I'll put it that way. This is about bankruptcy. I'm currently in a bankruptcy case, and I've been dealing with this particular attorney. His last name is Planner. He's located here in Gastonia, North Carolina. I've also been dealing with the trustee. His name is Warren A. Tadlock. And he's a Chapter 13 trustee, standing attorney, standing trustee. And he's located at 5970 Fairview Road, Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's his location. I was looking on the internet trying to find a photograph of him too. And I noticed when I went up there and typed his name in, and it came up with his name, this is what I found. There's no picture of him there, but it shows his name, and it says right down here, where you see my finger at, it says missing photograph. At the same time, you see, it also says must include photograph. And you can see also that I visited the site on 115 and you can see it's spam. So I downloaded a new app to put a stop to spam calls. But continuing on. Once I went to the website and started trying to find photographs of this individual, it's missing. And as you can see right there, it says must include a photograph. And I asked myself a question: did he recently take that photograph down? Because I put a picture of a Planner, my now ex-attorney. I put it on Facebook, and I said, well, "Why don't you want a picture of yourself being put out there? You can go in and type my name in on Google. You can go up there, and you can type in. Matter of fact, we'll do that right now. That's Google. You can type my name in, which is Willie Easter Jr. Make sure you include the Jr. It will come up. It'll give you my date of birth. It'll even tell you who I am. It says Willie Easter Jr., born October 27, 1963. And it says American artist, filmmaker, and writer. What it says. That comes from my biography. But if you want to see a picture of me, you can go right here. And you find videos and pictures all over the place. Hello, my name is Willie Easter Jr. This is Easter Delivering Films and Books. And when you go up, you can find my picture right there. That's me. See, right now, not shaved and hair all scuffy, I haven't cut it. But that's me. That's my photograph. And I kept wondering, I said, why is it so not important that he don't want to show his photograph? Why did he take it down recently, or did he never put it up? But It actually says that must include photograph. That's what it says. Let's go back to it. And it says missing photographed. I mean, I just threw that in there. But his name is Warren L. Tadlock, and he's a standing Chapter 13 trustee. And he sent me a letter recently because of the dispute that we had a few months ago when I stopped sending monies to the trustee because I wasn't getting the answers I wanted from the attorney. Now I wasn't getting any answers from the trustee. I called both. And anytime a situation occurs, you're supposed to try to find an answer. And you got people that's supposed to be in charge of your bankruptcy saying they don't know. I went to the attorney's office asking questions. Well, I don't know. I'll try to find out for you. Then he didn't get back to me. Then I called the trustee's office. They don't know. And they say, with a smirky attitude, well, get in contact with your attorney. You get in contact with the attorney, he still don't know. So, and I'm sending these people my money. You get to understand. The trustee's not paying me anything, and the attorney's not paying me anything. I am paying them. Therefore, if I ask the question, I want to answer. I don't care if you got millions of other dollars that's coming in, all these other different clients. That's not my concern. That's your concern. You get in the profession of being an attorney and a trustee. That's your concern. I'm a debtor. I'm paying you my hard-earned money for information to make sure that the bankruptcy case is going smoothly. And the only reason I got in this dispute with these people because my mortgage company called me and asked me whether I was still in the program because they had not received any money. And that's when I got in contact with my attorney and I questioned him about that. I said, well, I got a call from my mortgage company because they had written out an agreement that I could talk to my mortgage company and my mortgage company could call me. And I'm glad I done that so we can still communicate. Thank God I done that. Because if not, anytime you go into a bankruptcy because you're barred from communicating with any of your creditors. But in this case, I had a document signed, and I signed it, and the attorney signed it, and the judge approved it, and I was able to communicate with my mortgage company. And again, I said, thank God I done that. Because when they called me, they said they had not received any monies. Because I was in the process of going through a trial period to get my loan modified. Every place I went to in Charlotte turned me down flat because they probably held these places where you go to get assistance when you go and get in bankruptcy or you get behind in your mortgage. But see, me getting behind in my mortgage was pretty much a design of someone else. It wasn't a design of me. I didn't design that. But I had to go through it, man up and go through it. But what took place was I went to a place called Community Link, located on 5th Street in Charlotte, North Carolina. And from my experience, don't go there. You're not gonna get no assistance. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave anything else for another video. But right now, I'm just focusing on my bankruptcy case, dealing with Warren Tadlock and this plainer guy, attorney, ex-attorney. There's another place in Charlotte called Assembly, located on College Street, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Run by people of color. I'm not gonna say black, but I'm gonna say people of color. And sometimes people get the wrong impression is that if you go where I'm black, I go to black people and I get better help. No, that's not the case. And then I got in contact with another place called Prosperity Unlimited. Now there was another one. I'm not trying to put down females, but I really don't like dealing with females, especially when it comes to that case. Because I'm the type of person, once I give you information and you're asking the same question in 8 different directions, but I'm giving you the same answer, that gets a little annoying. So when I went to them by phone, basically, didn't go in person, but the other two, Assembly on College Street in Charlotte, and another one called Community Link in Charlotte, I went there in person. This is before the pandemic took place, just back in 2019. And got no help. When I first tried to get a modification through my mortgage company, turn it down. So then you have to go seek an attorney, which is more money going to be coming out of your pocket, because you have to pay the attorney to get a retainer fee. You have to pay him a retainer fee to get his services. And then once you get his services, you give him all the paperwork, all the information you need, and then they get back to you. Now you're going to pay the court a filing fee. The attorney retainer fee was $500. You check that out. There's more money I spent. Now I got to pay $310 to get the court for them to file it. So it'll be going to the case. So it'll be a bankruptcy case. So now it's legal. Now it's set up. So now you can be protected under the bankruptcy laws. That part's done. At the same time, you have to take a little course. Pretty much a course that shows you how to manage your money and all these things. I mean, it's a waste of time, but it's part of the guidelines. Because if you can get a house, you should already know how to handle your money. You handle your money by paying your bills. That's simple as that. But like I said, getting in my bankruptcy case was not my design. It was someone else's design. I think it was done on purpose. But like I said, that's for another video. But let's stick with this one. But like I was saying, I was looking for a video or a photograph of one Tadlock online. As you can see, when I went to his site, it said missing photograph, must include photograph. It's even saying that. You must include photograph. But as you can see, he didn't. He took it down. Right down there. Missing photograph. Must include photograph. Warren A. Tadlock. Chapter 13, Trustee. 13 Network. Office hours, 8:15 a.m. to 4:45 p.m., Monday through Friday. And that's why I received this notice from it. Because like I said earlier, I had stopped sending money to the trustee's office because they had violated my trust. Then they tried to switch it around and say that I violated protocol. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I mean, any intelligent person that got any type of sense up there in their brain, if you're sending your hard-earned money to somebody and entrusting them to do their end of the bankruptcy policy, a protocol, whichever term you want to use, and they're supposed to be distributing the money out. See, anytime you go into bankruptcy, you get a so-called lawyer or attorney that's dealing with bankruptcy, and that money, then he gives you instructions. Now you're supposed to send this money to the trustee. And this is what they send you. This is the address of the trustee. It also got the bankruptcy number on there. All that's supposed to be on the envelope, so when it gets to the office, they know who you are. And that way, it can be processed as fast as humanly possible. That's what they say. So I was doing that. I think I made one mistake. Once all this was being set up, I started sending my money early because I first paid the $500 retainer fee to the attorney. Now, this is the second case, not the first case. It's the second case. This is the one that was reopened in 2020. So that's why I'm only going to do this one first in this video. So it will reopen in 2020. I had to pay another $500 retainer fee to Planner, then pay another $310 through them to the court to get it filed. It was approved. Then they sent me a letter, which I have right here, explaining to me how much is going to be paid within this plan. Well, each junior paying, that's what I'm looking at on this letter right here. This is a payment thing. In monthly installments or payments, financial summary is $1,670. That's $1,670. That's supposed to be able to cover my mortgage, my car payment, and my 2 credit cards. At least that's what I understand it's supposed to be going to. There we go. It says, I'll read it again. Willie Easter Jr. paying $1,670 $670 monthly in his bankruptcy case. Warren L. Tadlock, trustee, and my attorney, planner. I'll let you see it right there for yourself. There's the column right here. Now, if you notice at the top it says payee. This is what everything has been paid. These are the ones that everything been paid to. It's going to the Alabama Housing Financial Authority. That's my mortgage company under Silver Solutions. And like I said earlier, I received a telephone call from Silver Solutions, and they said they had not received the first payment yet. And I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna go back when I said earlier that I made a mistake about sending my money too early. I started sending the money out the 1670 in April, but at the same time I was in the process of getting a loan modification. I got a grant on the loan modification to modify my loan to make the payments lower. So after I paid the $500 retainer fee and the $310 requirement to file with the court, all that was already paid, I noticed they sent me another letter, with two letters back to back. And I got that here. Payee, this case. And I was paying Santana Consumer USA, that's my car payment. Long Creek Meadows Homeowners Association. Capital One Bank, that's one of my credit cards. GameStop Corporation, that's another credit card. Internal Revenue Service, blank. That's nothing there, because from what I understood, what I was paying to Social Solutions within the program was also being sent to the tax place, the tax internal revenue. And I noticed a Gaston County tax collector in there also. But what I'm looking at is down here on this page right here, where it says planner, that's my my ex-attorney, received claimed amount. He received $382. That's supposed to be coming out of the plan. I don't think he's supposed to be receiving that directly. But that's what the people said. He received $382. And on another occasion, they sent another one saying that he received $480. So not only did he get a $500 retainer fee, according to this right here, it says it right there. It said claimed amount. And it said he claimed it. It says claimed amount. Because the other one said, Gaston County tax collector says notice only. It said legal fees, planner, and what was claimed amount is claimed amount, $380, and you get another one for $480. You see down at the bottom right down there. I don't see how well you can see that, but I'll do my best to blow it up again so you can see it better. And I called the office and I asked the secretary, the receptionist. I received two notices saying that planner received a payment of $382 and another one for $480. He said, well, that's a part of the plan. So the first thing I thought, I said, well, maybe it could be coming out of the plan. And it's not something we get in a whole lump sum. So that's okay. Okay. So I put it in the back of my mind, but then I said, okay, it's part of the plan. You see a little blinking light over there, but then you just say, okay, it's part of the plan. Just making sure you're not getting that all in one lump sum, because the money's supposed to be distributed to my creditors, and their money's supposed to come out of that, all within the plan. That was the first time I took notice of that. But stop right there again and go back to what I was saying, that the mistake I made. I started sending the money out too early. because officially at that point I was not under bankruptcy. But I started sending the money in April. I sent one off on April 17th. And it even says right here in their paperwork, they received the first payment according to their records. So I sent off on the 17th. They're not going to get it on the 17th. They didn't receive it till April 21st, 2020. And they received a total of $1,670. I sent another one off in May. And they received a total of $1,670. I sent them a third one off in June. And they received a total of $1,670. If you go 3 times $1,670, it's going to come to a total of $5,010. That's 3 installments, 3 payments. I sent it just a little too early. Then they said they didn't have enough money. When June rolled around, they said, well, we don't have money. I said, well, I've sent you 3 payments. And one was sent early and wasn't even under bankruptcy. Where's that other $1,670? See what I'm saying? You got 3 payments, but you only made 2 payments to Alabama Housing Authority. But you received 3. Big red light, flashing right in your face and smacking you at the same time. So I kept asking myself, I need some paperwork so I can see this. So after that, they said I've been abusive because I kept asking questions. Well, he's been abusive towards us. So me and the attorney got in an argument in the parking lot in front of his office. And I was questioning him about it again. I said, Silver Solutions, which is the Alabama Housing Financial Authority, called me and said that monies were not there on time, or they hadn't received anything yet. Well, I'll look into it. I'll look into it. I said, and then I questioned him. I said, why is money going back to you when the trustee is supposed to be distributing that money out to my creditors? And then he got all offensive and got to the point where he even told me to kiss his butt. That's what he said. That's when I turned around and said, nobody's going to kiss your old, dried up butt. You can suck my dick. Forget my language, but that's what I told him. Then he got mad and said, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to file a motion to have be removed from your case. I said, go ahead and do that. And I'm going to get an attorney and sue you for stealing money. Now, this is what all of this is stood up over, because I was asking questions. They were being evasive and not answering them. And then they wanted to say that I just didn't understand when it's right here on the paperwork. I hope you can see this. You probably can't, but I'll do my best I can with it. This is when all the money has been received, which came to a total of $5,010. Again, if you add times 3 times $1,670, it's going to come out to a total of $5,010. That's 3 payments, back to back, ahead of time, because I was trying to get ahead of the curve. Because I wanted to make sure I was able to keep my home and not get my home put in foreclosure. That's my primary goal. Because once I took and won that grant to get my mortgage modified to a lower payment, I wanted to jump on it right away. Because before, when I applied for a loan modification, Silver Solution turned me down. And then I found out later on that most of the people that was in the office then was not going. They got a whole new crew in there. They were doing things just slightly different. They were trying to do it right, to put it this way. Because I also had issues with the older individual in Silver Solution, but that, like I said, that's a different video. And I noticed on this that Warren L. Tadlock sent the Alabama Housing Authority, Financial Authority, on June 2nd, 2020, he sent $850. Because that was the requirement in the loan modification that I send 3 payments of $850 for 90 days, that's 3 months. So the first payment wasn't due to June. According to this document right here, It was sent to the Alabama Housing Financial Authority on June 2nd. But they didn't call me and said they hadn't received anything. But according to the document, they said they did. At the same time, he took a computer fee out, for a fee for a computer check. He took out $77.26. That's their fees. Then again, on June 30th, Warren L. Tadlock took another fee out, a monthly fee for distribution. He took $371 out on June 30th. At the same time, what confused both myself and Surface Solutions and the Alabama Housing Financial Authority, they sent $219 on June 30th. That's what it is. Also on June 30th, they sent $3,492.62 to Planner, my attorney. And that's what I was questioning about. I said, why is money being sent to him when Warren L. Tadlock supposed to be sending this money out to my creditors? I questioned that. Now that I'm questioning that, I'm being abusive. Remember back when I told you that he told me to kiss his rear end, and I told him to suck my dick? That was my response when he said that. Then he wanted to be removed from my case. So I asked him, I said, why is the money coming back to you? It's supposed to be going to the Alabama Housing Financial Authority. I asked my brother about that because about 10 years ago, my brother was going through bankruptcy. And he said he ain't never heard of anyone, the trustee sending money back to the attorney's office. That money, once I send that money to the trustee's office, the trustee's supposed to distribute that money out to my creditors. It doesn't go back to the attorney's office. All the attorney get is the fees that's coming out of that plan. And then, again, on June 30th, they sent it, on June 30th, they sent the second payment. $870. But when you look there, who did it go to? It says 630, 870. Description, MODTR. But when it says payee, there's nothing in the space. See? 800 on 630, then another 870 on 630. But it's not going anywhere. There's nobody there. There's no payee. But Planner received $3,492.62 on June 30th. Now, remember when they sent the partial payment of $219 back on June 30th to the Alabama Housing Authority? They didn't send the rest of it until July 9th. They sent $631. And if you add that together, $219 plus $631, it'll come to a total of $850, which is the amount that they're supposed to be sending in July anyway. And that's all right there on the paper. I wish you could see that better, but it's right there. It's split the payment up. And again, Services called me, which is the Alabama Housing Authority, said we did not receive payment. I said, they said they received something like $631. It was split up. One was sent at the end of June, and the other one was sent on the 9th of July. Again, my payment plan was set up to go through June, July, and August. 90-day plan, a trial period to see would I be able to make those payments and keep those payments within that that month frame. That way my payments will be reduced. I will be able to pay less within the bankruptcy filing things. Instead of paying $1,670, it probably went down some. That's what I was trying to accomplish. Then again on July 14th, 2020, another payment was distributed. And that payment didn't go to Social Solution or the Alabama Financial Authority. It went to Plano. See the payee? He was the payee of it. And there it is. $850 went to Plano. July 14th, 2020. And now that red light is flashing in my head, right beside my head, now you got another red light flashing. And one in the back of the head, and one in the front of the head, and all of them beat me beside my head. What's wrong with you? Can't you see that they're sending the money back to the attorney's office when it's supposed to be distributed out to Alabama Housing Authority? Then I started paying up the trustee, and they call a quick hearing. It was a telephone hearing. What they do, they send you this United States Bankruptcy Court for the Western District of North Carolina, 401 West Trade Street, room 111, Charlotte, North Carolina. Telephone number, Judge Laura Turner Byer, that's who she is, and enclosed is someone from Warren era Tadlock. And they send you this telephone number and a code and a security lock be able to answer on the phone, because they say due to COVID-19, we can't have an in-person hearing, but we do it by the phone. I noticed since the so-called pandemic done started, they use that excuse everywhere. Due to COVID-19, we can't meet in person, but we can do it either by video or by phone. I attended all the telephone cases that they set up a hearing. That's what it's basically a hearing, and they even said an acknowledgement in response of COVID-19, the coronavirus, in an effort to reduce the possibility of exposure to the virus and slow the spread of the disease. All hearings scheduled for January 12th, 2021 in Charlotte will be conducted telephonically. If evidence needed to be presented in your case or your argument, you would need to either continue the matter or to a future hearing date or conduct chambers or contact the chambers. And they give you a number to contact for special sittings. If the court is unable to understand a party or attorney appearing for technical reasons, the court will continue the hearing to a future hearing date. That's what it says. So that's what got me getting stuck. Inside they hear about those red lights going off, or their favorite term, red flags. Red flags. So that's the reason why I questioned them. I said, and Social Solution was saying they wouldn't receive any payments. And I called back again and said, well, we did receive a payment. We received that one, but it was not on time. But you see, I started sending the payment way back in April and May. Part of that time, I was not officially under bankruptcy, but I had already filed for it. You had to wait for the court to give you an answer back. But I was sending the money to the trustee's office anyway. And I started asking questions because Social Solution were calling me saying they hadn't received any payments. They called me once in June and then again in July. I stayed in contact with them back and forth to find out what was going on. And one time she called me, she said, "Are you still on the program?" I said, "Yes, I am. I've sent the payments to the trustee." I said, "Let me find out what's going on and get back in contact with you." She said, "Okay." But everything's right there. Payee name. Why is this money being distributed back to the attorney's office? One in the column that says $3,492. And then he got a payment of $850 payee going back to the planner. And you got two columns that's just basically missing right there. One says 870 and one says 850. Well, 800. And 8 and 8, 16. So that's 1670. You got $870, and you get 800. You go 8 and 8, 8 and 8, 16, plus you get a 70, that's 8. That's $1,170. $1,670, what it is. Plus you get 8 and 8 is 16, and then you get $70. So that's 1670. But nothing went anywhere right there. Just another case number. That was at the end of June. But then they received another payment on June 31st. And see, I was asking questions. Because even when I spoke with Service Solutions, they were saying, why are they splitting the payments up? Why are the payments been split? I'm sitting the entire 1670. You got 3 payments, 3 installments, come to a total of $5,010. You got them one in April, another one in May, another one in June. I'll call myself setting up this thing to make sure the payments are going to be early so I can stay ahead of the curve. And when we had the hearing, one of the females from Tadlock's office said, well, we overpaid him. And then she made another comment, well, that's not how that works. And then the judge started apologizing for what the attorney and the trustees had done. First, the judge said, I want to apologize. This has never happened before. We hope you don't lose trust in this system, and we can continue on with this, and blah 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 blah. And I was sitting there, never happened before. Well, it just did. And then someone from the Tadlock's office, a female, said, I want to apologize. I was not there when this took place. Again, I want to apologize. And it was basically apologizing all over the place, but it wasn't resolving the problem. The problem was not resolved. Where are those monies? Was my other creditors actually paid? And then one of them made a comment, not on this particular hearing, but on another hearing. She said, well, I can provide you with paperwork proving that they were paid. I said, well, I'd like to get that. Well, I have it to you in 10 days. That was last year. It's not 2021. Still haven't received it. And the only reason I got this is because I kept